Album Concept Hour. It's the Album Concept Hour. Welcome, everybody, to the Album Concept Hour podcast. I am your host, Brad LeBaron, as I always am. And we are here with our co-hosts, Virtual John. What's going on, John?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good here, man.
Just chilling out there in Milton.
Dirty computers, you know?
Yeah. No, it's gonna be a fun episode. We're doing Janelle Monae's Dirty Computer from 2018. But before we get into that, I'm gonna introduce our other co-host, Jake the Snake Foster. How you doing, Jake?
I'm doing pretty good. I just got my audition going, and it was literally as you said. How's it going, Jake? So I forgot to do that, and
I got my garage band going right after I started the introduction. But we got the Zoom going. So.
I didn't know how that was going to work, but here we are.
So me and Jake will sound a little garbly for about 30 seconds, and then we're going to sound fine.
All right.
But
no, it was like right as I clicked, and I'm like, oh, come on, Adobe, load. And
I looked over at my garage band, and I'm like, that's not moving at all. That's just it's at zero. That's not how it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
We're off to a great start for Janelle Monae's Dirty Computer, and we have a guest today. This is our returning guest from season 1's finale. We have Grant Summerland, the creator of Bigfoot Museum, back on the podcast. How's it going, Grant?
Going pretty good. Thanks for having me back.
Dude, thanks for being back, man. We talked about having you back, at the end of the episode, and we always intended to have you back. And we're here a year later. It's been a long year.
It has been a really long year.
Yeah, yeah. A lot has happened between the last time we spoke and now. We had our episode about your album Bigfoot Museum around I think it was like May, and then we released it in June. Really close to the beginning of stuff getting really locked down and serious. I know I asked you a little bit about this before, but like, how has it been the past year since we've last spoke with the pandemic and everything?
Well, it's been like I kind of said, like it's a mixed bag, right? I mean, it in terms of like just being a musician, like it is a very bad time to be a musician, I think, or just anyone kind of involved in any sort of like events, right? Of any kind, which is
live
events. If you're a musician is. So I've just been kind of like, I don't know. I had a whole plan for 2020 that kind of just got completely scrapped. So I've been just kind of hanging out at home. I've been recording some new music, and I'm just kind of like making some steps, looking forward to like what I can kind of do when stuff opens up. So, but other than that, I've just been kind of, hanging out with my family and whatever.
Like a lot of I mean, I've been in this room for many months. It's definitely a weird time. Like I think that some people were able to transition and play like a few like online things, but it's nothing like a live show. Like you can kind of substitute that, but it's it's never going to be the same as people reacting to you right in front of you.
If anybody had plans on like a big recording like session, or like I keep going back to like Taylor Swift dumped all this music, right? So how long has she been wanting to do this and sit down and re-record all of her stuff, and how long would it have taken had there not been a pandemic? That's what, and then all of these different groups have recorded new music, and so that's
there's been
a
lot
part,
of really cool stuff coming out. There's been on side B, of course, we joke about it, but we're covering we covered the 50 States project from Sufjan Stevens, and we're continuing it, but our guest Joey Clift actually completed that project within the pandemic. So like he had user submissions, 500 and something songs, and we joked about the fact that like this might never have happened if not for the pandemic. and like everyone being just needing something, anything, some outlet to do big weird stuff.
I got to host a radio show every day for 4 months.
Yeah,
every day I pumped out a 2-hour radio show, and that
before that, what were you doing?
Once a week,
Yeah.
just like it is now. But I did because I didn't have a job. I was able to. It was my job, so I always talked about on shows. I would go, well, if I only had a show every day, and then sure enough, I did. So
what do you prefer now, having done both? Do you prefer the show every day or the once a week?
If I had a team to prepare all of it together, and it wasn't me doing it, or if I was getting paid, period, I would do it every day. Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I was about to say that's really If
I mean, if
I was getting paid,
there's some sort of payment involved.
Yeah, I would have to get a lot of people. I would have to be paid a lot. Me and my friends always would, be like, how much money would you have to make to hire a driver to drive you around anytime you want?
Oh man!
Like what would be that amount?
That's next. Yeah,
God, that 60 grand a year at least.
I mean, probably more than that if you're throwing it around for a driver.
Well, 75, 80.
You're like, I want to go at any time.
You got to think about what you're going to pay that driver.
Well, right.
Yeah, that sounds expensive. That sounds like
you'd have to pay
silver spoon lifestyle.
You'd have to pay that person at least 50 grand, and then if you wanted somebody there, 18 hours a day.
Driver 50 grand? Jesus Christ! I was thinking like 20, 30 grand.
I want a good driver,
a reliable driver.
Good point.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm cheap.
But we're covering Janelle Monae's Dirty Computer, and this is one that has been on our list for a little while, and I was just going to you chose between David Bowie and this one, but someone had just actually grabbed the David Bowie as you said that, so I was like, let's do the Janelle Monae. But what's your connection to the album? When did you first hear it, and why is it your pick?
I mean, I heard it back when it came out. I was following Janelle Monae up to that point, but I feel like that was like a really critical album for her career. Like I feel like that was kind of this point where she like really became like this big like superstar and kind of evolved from maybe a normal, like a mid-tier festival act. I don't know how else you'd say it to someone who's actually like a star, right? And so I thought that was a really cool just kind of thing to see. And also just I thought this album in particular just seemed to do it all a little bit more for me than her previous output. I don't really know exactly what it is, but it seemed and again we're gonna probably get into this, but it seemed like conceptually it was like maybe a little tighter. I don't know. It was a good thing at the moment too. A lot of its themes were relevant 3 years ago, still relevant really now, right? I'm sure we're going to talk about that as well. But yeah. But and also it's just like a really good like the music, like just the music, even if the lyrics just were like taken out completely, like it's just a good fucking album. So I don't know. Yeah.
It's been getting like I've heard it like a few times now, and it's definitely one that gets better with listens, like multiple listens, like there's a lot of stuff in the production here. Like it is a really really good clean album, and it's got a little bit of everything. But this is one that my step sibling actually put on or suggested to put on the list. Thanks Renee for that suggestion. It's a really really I haven't heard much of Janelle's stuff, Janelle Monae stuff before this. Like I'd seen Moonlight, I knew of her, but I think I agree with you. This feels like a stepping into like the big spotlight, you know what I mean? Because Yeah, there's from the movie that comes with this to all of the heavy subject matter that she's tackling in the album. It's like instant kind of classic kind of album, you know. So yeah,
No.
I'm excited to get into it. There's a lot of big people on this one. So
yeah, actually,
yeah, surprising amount of big names right out the gate actually. Do you guys want to get into the first track here? We got 14 for this album. And we got first track is Dirty Computer, the titular track. And we have Brian Wilson, who you might recognize from a little group called the Beach Boys.
Can't you see that it's only me, you dirty computer, dirty computer.
Oh.
Yeah.
When you first played that for me, Brad, and you were like, yeah, Brian Wilson's on this track, I was like, yeah, that is the Beach Boys sound in the background. That is the Beach Boys sound.
It's so cool because it's like it's so modern, but it could be a Beach Boys hit kind of, like it's such a weird experience because it feels so old and new at the same time, I guess.
It's a culture clash, Brad.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It just blends.
Mash it.
Yeah. But yeah, Brian Wilson is, obviously great singer, songwriter. Have we done Beach Boys yet on this podcast?
No, but
wow.
I think Jake over here suggested that we get pet sounds on the list ASAP.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of surprised that we haven't done one yet.
Well, because we're trying to get all the big ones, and it's definitely time to get. Yeah, it's time to hit a Beatles one and a Beach Boys one. There we go. Months.
Maybe we should do Beatles Beach Boys back to back.
That would be awesome.
That'd be what?
Great 2 weeks.
Yes, writing this down. Beatles Beach Boys back to back.
It's a BV week.
Yes. Beatles versus Beach Boys, and we'll use the Batman.
Who's the best?
We'll use the Batman v Superman.
Back in the USSR is like a response to California Girls.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I believe the Beatles heard California Girls, and they were like, we can do something European like that.
There's a Chuck Berry song called "Back in the USA." Okay. So I think they all kind of stem from that, but
okay, sure.
My understanding was that song was literally like a parody of a Beach Boys song, was like them trying to like make fun of the Beach Boys because they were like.
Then it's parody
They have like one of those
parts.
Exactly. Yeah.
Back in the USSR,
which is like that is not something that the Beatles do in their music. They don't go
no.
Like that's Beach Boys. So like they were definitely yeah.
Well, they had a whole call and answer thing there going for a couple years. They were like Paul and John were constantly trying to outdo Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
So
well, anyway,
that's
today
how we did Pet Sounds.
We're not talking about these crusty old white men. We're talking about Janelle Monae and Dirty Computer.
Speaking of crusty old white men.
I'm not quite there yet. I'm a little crusty, but I'm not. I don't got the grays.
I'm a lot of crusty.
I don't got the speckles yet in my hair. The George Clooney yet, but we'll get there. We have the theme is being like laid out in the first track here, as far as kind of explaining what Dirty Computer is, what it represents. And what's nice is Janelle Monae has actually made a few notes on the Genius, so we have some firsthand accounts too. But in a nutshell, what the Dirty Computer is supposed to, according to her, represent is your LGBTQ people, your minority people, your black and brown people that don't don't fit the, you know, quote unquote mold of society, and are seen as, you know, are said to, you know, called broken, or assumed to like have to like change to keep up with society, and you know, adhere to that rather than being, you know, leaning into that dirty, quote unquote dirty aspect of themselves. So it's like kind of, you know, it's a celebration of those things. It's a celebration of being, you know, outside of the norm, and not part of the, you know, typical, you know, suburban American, whatever, you know, you want to call it. So yeah, really, really cool how she like talks about it in that the director's commentary after her movie that also exists, if you didn't know. But yeah.
And I think it's kind of important that it's like a computer, right? And that it's something that's like supposed to be automated, and like something that automatically happens, right? And that's kind of the whole idea, right? Is like, if it's a dirty computer, it's not a computer that's actually doing the things that it's supposed to kind of be doing. Which I don't know. I thought, and especially because she, right, her album before, right, as we said, is Arc Android, and that you know, that kind of segues into that idea of like that people are these things that are, you know, could be seen fitting the mold in the sense that they're performing the tasks they're supposed to, or they're not. Right?
So this is almost a deconstruction of the first or the previous album's stuff, in a way.
In some ways,
is that one? It's about being an android.
Loosely? Loosely.
Okay, all right. And then and this one, if you're watching the film, the film is really good. It's got Tessa Thompson in it, and it's also includes all of the music videos that you may have seen already. But it's this, you know, she's created this whole dystopia, you know, where there's the Neverminder smoke that for subversives, I'll just call them for the sake of this universe, like the subversives are like put in a room, and they have to, well, first they're tested. First they're like, you know, say your name, or then they say their name, and then they have to say that they're a dirty computer, and then they have to say something else after that. I forget. But she doesn't say the third thing. And they're like, oh, guess we're going to have to do a total wipe. And then the plot kind of starts. She's on the table and she starts inhaling this Neverminder stuff. And we get into some of her memories. And that's how kind of the scenes play out throughout the film. So, yeah, really, really like very big, I think big budget artistic thing. It seems like there's a lot of money in this 40 some minutes. But have you seen it, Grant?
I've seen part. I think I've seen it. Yeah, but it was back when it came out. Yeah, so it's been a bit.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool imagery throughout. Also, I thought really smart to film all of your music videos for the album ahead of time. Like that was a smart choice. That's what Gorillaz should do. Like, they need to finish the movie before they release the music. So
they need to finish the movie before they release the soundtrack.
Yes, because they release the soundtrack, the movie will never come out.
All this reverse-ass bullcrap.
Yeah. Gorillaz, take notes, all right? I know you're supposedly putting together a movie, but I've been hearing that my whole life, so we'll see if that actually happens. But yeah, I think that the lyrics in the album, like, really reflect a lot of what's happening in the visuals. There's maybe minute differences here and there, but for the most part, it's like a 1-to-1 like translation from album to film. But she included Brian Wilson. She, you know, I think all the people that are included in here are people that she looks up to and considers legends. Because everyone that she has in here are just legendary. But yeah, I guess I want to get on to the second track of the album. into more of the plot here. This is where the first memory kind of begins in the movie. If you've watched that. But this is Crazy Classic Life.
We don't need another ruler. All of my friends are kings. I'm not America's nightmare. I'm the American dream.
Oh man, I forgot that she talked about America earlier in the album. I actually forgot that. I mean, I know I'd picked that clip, but I kind of forgot how that tied in to the later stuff. But yeah, this is a really kind of starts pretty subversive. I know that's kind of their deal in this story, but in this scene they're kind of having like a big ass fucking party, just high fashion, just dancing, just lights, crazy shit, and then the police show up. But yeah. Yeah, I like the message in it though. What were you gonna say something, Grant?
Oh well, I just think it's a little interesting, right? Because like I feel like that's maybe the whole kind of like tension in the album is that like one, she feels like she's someone who hasn't been accepted by America for generations upon generations, but in the same way, she also wants the things that America, in her mind, can provide. Right? So she says, like, I am the American dream. Right after saying that, she's maybe the dirty computer that maybe doesn't fit in with the way that things have been. So I don't know. I think it's right there. There's a reason those two are back to back, because I think she means them both very much, right? But they do kind of push and pull at each other.
Yeah. Like I like that she's like, she's embracing the complication of that.
Like the last two tracks do that too, don't they?
Yeah.
A different subject, but
yeah. And I'm gonna try to not talk about Captain America and the Winter Soldier, because that has very similar themes. But we get off into Marvel too much on this podcast. That kind of struggle between what does that mean to her and her generation? Because there's we like to think that we're pretty progressive on LGBTQ stuff, and we made a lot of headway in our lifetime, but that doesn't mean that they're not still discriminated against and facing an uphill struggle.
Well, and as honestly as us, as people that live around Madison, Wisconsin, there's Madison, and then I mean, Grant, I don't want to talk for you, but you're from California, right? I mean, there's a whole level of like, even in Wisconsin, like if you go an hour north or more, there's a whole. I mean, my aunt was a lesbian growing up in Sauk County, and there's like just a whole different
Wisconsin.
It was a whole different it was a whole different time.
It's a whole different atmosphere.
It was a whole different time, but I think still today, to a degree, as you get out of these progressive spheres and out of these comfort zones, there's like that we think that we are a part of. There's so many different parts of it's a
different world out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, totally. And I also think, one thing that's worth mentioning is that exists also in, California too. And that exists in Oregon, and it exists in Washington, it exists in even like the bluest of states, New York, right? Is like, once you get out into rural areas, right, it's just a different game altogether. And in fact, there's a large portion of Southern Oregon and Northern California that have actually been trying to succeed from both states and form their own state for like decades of it's called Jefferson is what they want the state to be, but it's a real that's like a real movement of people who want like a conservative like libertarian state basically, And
yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of just like the kind of reality of the country is that, once you get outside of a metropolitan urban area, right, the politics become like extremely different really fast.
Well, and this is this is 2018, right in the middle of the Trump presidency. So if you were anyone that is not blonde hair, blue eyes,
a white male,
person,
a white
that
male.
might be what I'm talking about.
White people in general.
But yeah,
disgusting.
there was, there's the.
I
won't get into. There's an endless list of things that happened in those 4 years that you can just open up any YouTube or whatever video and get into. But it was a bad time, especially for LGBTQ people. Like there was rights being ripped away left and right because of
and they were trying to do it so covertly too. Like that's the worst part.
Yeah,
there
but
was the bathroom shit.
Yeah, North Carolina, right? I was.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, it's almost like the cigarette thing too. Like making cigarettes, you have to be 21 to buy them. What are you gonna do that? Are you gonna go arrest more people that you want to now because they're smoking a cigarette when they're 18? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole Georgia voting law,
oh my God,
we're still not even out of it. There's not even
no.
That's still real.
It just happened, and it's
very much so.
Yeah. We just it's just a different period of that. We just don't have the yelling orange man every day putting it in his own words.
Yeah.
I just thought about that last night.
It's not such a headache.
So much that I didn't have to think about what was coming out of his mouth.
Well, I always say that's why it's the biggest reason why I voted for Biden. I'm so happy it's not a headache every day anymore. From a national perspective, it's just not an instant headache.
And just
anymore.
I better not see any 2024 bullshit. Just stay away. But
if he actually got indicted like he's supposed to, go to trial like he's supposed to, we might not have any problems. But our legal system's all muddied and stupid.
Yeah.
So. Well, if everybody, and I don't know how long we want to go down this road, but if more people would have showed up to vote in 2016, there wouldn't have been the judges in the Supreme Court that if they and then if that would have. But there was a lot of people that would not vote for a woman for president, even if
that was a problem.
And that was a big deal, no matter who she was.
Yeah.
So
all right, we should probably get back on track.
Well, we just wanted to get in our voting campaign our before the 2024
there's our 2 cents
election. So just remember in 2024 what we said today, and that'll be our whole thing. But anyway, you guys want to get on to another track on this? I feel like we didn't really cover the song necessarily, but I feel like our subject matter of what we talked about really connects. So let's go to Take a Bite, and this one is this the one with guest on it? No.
It's got a lot more songwriters on it.
Yeah, a lot of songwriters on this one. But so this is Take a Bite. Where did I put it?
Your code is programmed not to love me, but you can't pretend. Oh, what a surprise. Maybe it's lost, maybe it's love, maybe it never ends. Ooh, say your goodbyes.
Oh man, love that beat. So just gets you moving, But this is I think it's the metaphor that she's using throughout the song represents several things, you know. There's the take a bite out, like as in like the memories being taken from her brain in the actual like plot of the story. There's take a bite like Eden's pussy, getting down. And then there's also the allusion to Eve eating the apple. So there's there's I think a lot of different things that this is supposed to represent. One of the things I'll say going into this album moving forward, like I really love that how she takes ownership over her sexuality as far as like using a lot of imagery about vaginas, which is like something that doesn't happen a whole lot, or at least at this point. I mean, I don't know. I guess now we're post WAP, so this is a pre-WAP world we're talking about
with some wet
but it's been done for all of time, like making references to your dick here and there for whatever thing you want, but like
we're just not being coy about it anymore. That's the biggest difference.
I mean, I know some people don't like the brashness of that, but it's like I like that women artists are taking that ownership and being what some consider crass, but a lot of this is very artistically talked about and done. But anyway, I just want to talk about that moving forward because there's like a couple of times where like it's very like explicitly about like eating pussy and like going because I mean and well she's pansexual, so it's not she's not just into women, but the story of the movie is mostly about her and Tessa Thompson's character, and there's also a third to that triangle. Well, I don't think Tessa and the guy are together. It's just anyway, watch the movie if you want some more context.
White guys, all of us just like
I talk about it. All right, I get it from my girl all the time.
Yeah. Well, we are. I know you're just listening to us, but we are a bunch of white dudes. So take with that what you will. But
there's this thing from the Dan Le Batard show that they play every time they got like a bunch of white guys on, and I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna see.
Well, I mean, you're listening to a podcast, so I mean, you must be assuming that we're a bunch of middle-aged white guys, right? Just by default.
All right.
Okay. Check out the Dan Le Batard show, guys.
Yeah.
It's good. It actually is pretty good, even for a non-sports fan.
Yeah, then they talk about politics and everything, and they don't have a bunch of white guys, but doing our best.
But you guys want to get on to another track though? I know.
One thing I just want to say about Take a Bite though is just that if it's Take a Bite, but it's spelled like a computer bite. And it ties it back.
I was going to say that too. Yeah.
To
That's all I had.
Ties it back to what?
There's a part in the second verse where she says, "My random access memory." Is that a Daft Punk reference, or is that?
I think it's both. I think it's
just the RAM. That's RAM, right?
Yeah, I think she is. I think she's definitely aware of that album because she's got a few tracks that are a little Daft Punky. I think that she's probably a fan. But yeah. I think that's especially the way that it does. It doesn't need to be in there. Like, So I think it's a reference. But yeah, I do like this. The line here is where it kind of gets to be the Eve thing. I'll mention. I saw my therapist. She thinks you are my magic sin. So magic sin, I think, referring to the eating the apple when God said don't do that or whatever. And maybe she's right. Well, I'll just lick an angel just to purify again. And that angels are fun. They're so fun. So yeah, I think that like she's kind of taking that whole what is, one of the most like, heterosexual stories of all time, Adam and Eve. And instead the apple is like the knowledge of like, the self and their own sexuality and exploring that, So they're, you know, the Eve eating the apple thing comes up a lot in music. It is one of those. It's one of those references. We'll have to start keeping track of like, popular music idioms, I guess.
Do you have a blackboard? Do you have a blackboard?
I don't have
over
a blackboard.
There? You can put that up there. That would be good.
Yeah.
We'll get you a blackboard, Brad.
Like with
we
chalk?
need a blackboard for our strategic planning meetings.
Yeah, I got my
Especially
whiteboard.
now that pandemic's going to be over soon.
Yeah, I got my whiteboard. I need my blackboard.
So, you got a whiteboard? Well, I mean that
works.
I know.
Too.
I know. I should probably have a blackboard.
No, chalk's dirty. I don't know.
Yeah.
Believe me, as a teacher, you don't see a lot of. You don't see a lot of.
That's why it used to be a punishment to shake those chalk erasers.
That's how all those kids died. So yeah.
Oh God!
Inhaling all that chalk.
Oh Jesus! I didn't know about that.
I'm just making
Jesus.
That up.
Okay. Jesus was not in those rooms.
I totally. Yeah. All right. Well, you guys want to move on to Jane's
It's probably a
Dream?
Thing. Probably can't be good. This is an instrumental track.
Yeah, this is actually the entire track. So it's a very.
Oh,
short
that's
one.
cool.
Jane's Dream. Yeah. So they're like real interlude thing, instrumental. That doesn't add a lot to the story necessarily, but yeah. I think it just it's just there to like represent like a transition point in the album, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my take.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, because like the movie already has like kind of a transition for this that visually, they already get it starting to get into her memories, but I think she was saying in the after the movie that this next section is where it really explores the like character and her like history and the memories that they're trying to erase about her. So, oh yeah, they're trying to erase her too, on top of all the other stuff, trying to erase her history, which is significant. Anyway, this next track is called Screwed, and it features Zoe Kravitz. Oh man, really enjoyed that one.
I'm a big fan of this song. It's
it's
got a good message to it. Yeah.
Like on the surface, it kind of sounds like a pop, like a regular pop song, but there's so much.
I know there's actually a lot going on in there.
Yeah. I guess I'm saying that in a derogatory way. When I talk about pop music, I'm usually like, oh well, it's kind of like pop, but it's like better.
Right.
But like pop is good too, But
do you want me to go down the whole what is pop thing now, or should we save that for later?
We should have like an episode about that. I think.
Just like it's the same conversation as what is alternative. So I
tried to do a paper on that one time, and it was very difficult to kind of pin down.
I had a my music professor in college. He's like, I don't get it.
I'm throwing my hands up.
It's like I don't know what it has to be, but yeah.
You kids call whatever you want.
He's like, He's like, I don't think it exists. Like I don't want to go down that whole thing, but yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely of the opinion that they should have at some point put a stop to the genres and just used what we had, and in various different ways. But every generation wants to reinvent, so they're gonna do it. So now we have a million genres. But yeah, this is really getting into the character a little bit, and the world too. Like it's kind of talking a little tongue in cheek about the fact that our generation is screwed for a laundry list of reasons, as far as global climate change, and some of the rise of authoritarian types and all sorts of fun stuff. And yeah, and trying to, like, I don't know, I guess make love not war in face of all that. It's kind of I feel like it's kind of a different wording of the make love not war kind of message, instead of like, but like, let's fuck, not do war, more explicitly. But what do you guys think of this track?
Well, I think one thing that sorry, you go on.
No, go, Grant.
Yeah, well, I think one thing that's kind of might be important, I'm not sure, is that, right, she says, like, well, you fucked it all up then, and we'll fuck it down again, right? And where she's saying that, like, basically, like, the way that a previous generation might have fucked it up, she'll fuck it back down by fucking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like the act of, like, being like, oh, let's just get screwed. Like, let's just, like, enjoy, like, kind of give into hedonism and enjoy ourselves.
Let's
like, that will
enjoy
actually
each other's company.
What came before.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like, that will reverse what came before. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the best way to do it. That's my favorite way.
Is that like 50s into 60s, like the beatniks and the hippies, like counterculture type of like thought? Is that
yes, that's a good way to a good way to vocalize it.
Well, I think every generation, like, that's kind of, I don't know, I think that's like the role of youth, to kind of constantly be reinventing, and reminding everyone that is maybe forgotten that, like, that they can be positive, and they can be idealistic, and stand for certain things.
Well, it's like every time a youth generation kind of rises up, and in particular because of our own culture, I talk about America, what you really hope is that you get to keep some of the best things out of it, because you're not going to get to keep everything. The hippies taught us that. Like, that's what we learned personally, in my opinion. One of our generations learned from the hippies. You're not going to get to keep everything, but you hope you can keep some of the best aspects of the revolution that happened during the day. The youth. Yeah. What the youth want is that's the best thing you can hope for, because eventually some of those youth even turn to the dark side. It's
and
and
this is
all.
This is like her and her, like, friends, and her and like the LGBT community, I guess, trying to take back the ownership of that, like, the American ideal or whatever, and the melting pot, and the ones that we are rightfully proud of, and it's a really, I think there's also a message of, like, being, that the new idea of being able to love everyone, no matter who they are, what they look like, what parts they have, and just being cool with that, which is one of the big movements that's happening right now. And yeah, it's easy to forget that there are a lot of places that is still a very hard thing. So yeah, but yeah, great fucking song though. It's just yeah, I would keep this on if it came on the radio.
This whole thing,
even if it was pop music.
But
this whole thing is very good.
Yeah, the lyrics of this one are just like, the last couple of verses are just great.
Yeah. The hold on, sorry, I'm scrolling down.
Everything is sex except sex, which is power. You know, power is just sex.
Oh yeah.
Now ask yourself who's screwing you, and then talking about blocking equal pay and sipping on their Coca-Colas.
Yeah, yeah.
Fake news, fake boobs, fake food.
Yeah. And they even mentioned the Matrix eating on the blue pill.
Yeah.
You know, making fun of the
devil. The devil met with
boys.
Russia.
And they just oh yeah, I didn't catch that Trump reference right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, like we were marching through the street, blocking every bill. So it's really, it is telling like a lot of it's dropping a lot of issues right at the end there.
I'm tired of Hoteps.
Of what?
It says in this one that I've got on Genius, it's HOTEPS.
Yeah. Hotep is
trying
a term
to make me
used to demean black people who claim to align with black empowerment and freedom, but who perpetuate harmful attitudes towards some black people. Oh, okay. So like
those twins?
Well, I think they're talking about like I know I'm gonna offend some people when I say this, but certain white liberals that don't really like support communities that are different than them, but they like give all the lip service about it, you know. That's my understanding maybe of what that is.
Yeah, I get that.
But in actual definition, it means peace in as an ancient Egyptian greeting, according to this Genius note. So we're trusting who's this contributor? I wanna make sure that they know. Reconstructions. Reconstructions. That's good. Reconstructions, thank you. But yeah, let's get on to another track though. We have Django Jane, which is a
not Django Unchained.
Yeah, Django Jane Unchained.
Just Django.
Yeah,
I know.
It's
like
hard
to
not
say
to
Django.
Yeah,
I'm an ass like that. I like to mispronounce words.
Actually,
sometimes.
I don't think I knew that before you mentioned it. I've always just been like Django. Like I tried to like barely pronounce it,
right.
You know, but I think
he's right. I like to say Django because I'm an asshole.
Well, because we're that's
Anyway, Django Unchained. There was a Django Reinhardt, a jazz virtuoso guitarist that was really good. Really, he like had his like fingers burnt off and like very unique way of playing. Anyways, that's a little
and played.
Coincidentally enough, that's actually how the guitarist from Black Sabbath got that individual sound.
Well,
he burned his finger off in a factory.
No, he got we did Tony Iommi on Between the Sheets, which John's coming on at sometime soon for Stevie Nicks. But we did Tony Iommi, and he got his fingers cut off because of sheet metal factory he's working at. And on the last day,
I was close.
On the last day, he got a couple of them cut off, and then since he's played with like thimbles on his fingers. So that's what, and he had to like Brent Coppernall talks about it great, but he had to like use different strings on the guitar so he could press hard on the strings. That's what gives them the unique sound. But there you go. Anyways,
wow, good to know. I'll be listening for that next time I listen to Black Sabbath. Right? You said Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. But yeah, this is Django Jane. Oh, it's of course. It sounds much better when you say it like that, Django Jane. Okay, here's Django Jane.
Running out of space on a damn bandwagon. Remember when they used to say I look too mannish? Black girl magic, y'all can't stand it, y'all can't ban it. Made out like a bandit. They've been trying hard just to make us all vanish. I suggest they put a flag on a whole nother planet. Jane Bond, never Jane Doe, and I Jane Go.
Yeah. Fucking.
That's some good hardcore rapping from her. Nice work.
Just bars, dude.
Did we talk about Zoe Kravitz being on the last track?
We did not, but
I mentioned it in the intro. Okay. I didn't mention anything about Zoe Kravitz, but I don't know much about her in general. So I just know she's Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
Yeah,
daughter.
Yeah. But yeah, she was.
She's got her own career. She's got her own career. She's acted an actress and.
Yeah. Doesn't he have another daughter that's famous?
He has a son, Damien.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Anyway, this is the track that's got a little quote for Janelle Monae is actually commented on this song on the Genius. So I'm just going to read what she said about this song in general, and then we'll get into this song, what we think of it. But yeah, Janelle Monae says about what inspired this song. It was a combination of things. Just feeling like a black woman, my very existence felt less than the people in the position of power right now in that regime, and feeling like my rights as a woman were being trampled on. My agency was constantly trying to be taken away. Take the artist Janelle Monae out of it, the makeup, all that. When I go home and I'm at the grocery store, I'm looked at as a young black African-American woman. Not just me going through that, just what they say about women's rights, what they say about us in this world, made me feel like my back was literally against the wall and like I had to come out fighting, you know? There were a lot of times when I left the studio recording the song, I was so upset, but I knew that I needed to channel that energy and try my best to channel it, and I wanted to make sure the black girl magic was at the root of it. The love of black women, that they felt seen, they felt heard, and they felt like they had an anthem whenever they got down, whenever they got weary. So, yeah. Yeah, a lot of, I think that's why this is, the rap track, because there's a lot to say, a lot to talk about. But, yeah. What do you guys think of this track? You're you Grant, being the rapper, the rap guy of the three.
Right, kind of the quote unquote story rap.
You have been recorded rapping, I believe.
Yeah, that's true.
More than the rest of us, that's for sure.
Yes, there's nothing on record for me. Oh no, there's okay. There's just
there's a record
tiny
somewhere
thing.
Out there.
There's a plugs theme that I rap on, but
okay.
Yeah. That's it. But
I don't know. It goes hard. I mean, well, one thing I thought was kind of interesting about this album when I was listening to prep for this podcast was it's just it was a lot more. I mean, obviously there's a lot going on underneath the surface, but it's an oddly direct album, right? And I think that's probably one of the strengths of it, right? Is that it is just it's not mired in metaphors, and it's not trying to. You don't have to
it is straight to the brain. It is straight to the brain.
Which is and I think that this track is probably one of the ones that is the most showing of that aspect of the album, right? And so
well, she's talking about her life making it out of Kansas City, how mom used to clean hotels, dad used to be a driver, and and then she was working retail, and just.
Is this autobiographical for her?
This song in particular, yeah. I think actually a lot of it is, but some of it's in
I was talking about the song, but
the song though, all of the parts where she's talking about, she actually has comments for each of these sections. I'm not going to read them all because they're all paragraphs, but. If you want to learn a lot about Janelle Monae, you can go to the Genius page for this and learn quite a bit about her life. Have we mentioned she was in Moonlight yet on the recording?
Right, and that's what the line that says I got an Oscar for the Casa, right? That's what that is. Even though she wasn't the one who got the Oscar, right? The I think it was just everyone got the Oscar because it won Best Picture.
Yeah,
so I think probably the director Barry Jenkins, he's probably in his house, but she, right? I think what she's saying there is just that if I remember her annotation, even she says, well, it felt like we all got an Oscar, right? We're all together, black people breaking into and winning Best Picture was just such a big moment. So, I mean, it's a very autobiographical, very direct track.
And that movie is tackling a lot of really like heavy subjects as well.
It is it's so, and the more, and I haven't seen Moonlight, and I should, but like the fact that it's tackling so much, and isn't it kind of an American like analogy the way that La La Land, this movie that I don't know enough about La La Land, but that didn't tackle a lot, didn't hold the same weight as Moonlight for sure.
This white ass movie.
Right, that they gave that one, they said that was the one that got the Oscar, and then really that's what happened in 2018. Yeah, they messed up.
So was that the Oscars?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. There was a lot of.
Remember when that happened now?
Yeah.
Man, it's just a whole day of remembering stuff for me.
Jeez. It's just 3 short years ago. Seems like
they screwed it up on stage and then they reversed it.
Well, I mean, this came out in 2018 but that was before this.
February 27th. September. That's the 13th month. That's
yes.
In there, yeah,
of course.
August, yeah.
But it's an amazing movie though. It's really really good. And I'm not even gonna say anything about it because I don't want to spoil it. But she mentions the Arcandroid orchestrated, so she's mentioning Arcandroid in this song too, which is a part of her story as well. Remember when they used to say I look too mannish? That's something like she's always had like a androgynous style. As long as I've known about Janelle Monae, she's kind of like a Bowie kind of style, I guess. Where it's so that's something. One of the specific things that she's had to deal with in the industry is like, oh, you're a woman, like, so they expect you to be in some other kind of outfits like Beyonce might wear, or Taylor Swift might wear, or wait, no, she doesn't really do that much, but you know what I mean? Like it's the pop music like outfit. She did not fit the mold for that at all, and in many ways she didn't fit the mold, and she fought at each step of the way to be relevant, but I think she landed it. She's definitely like is like an icon at this point, but you guys want to get on to one more line actually. I wanted to talk about. You want the world, well, what's worth it? Emoticons, Decepticons, and Autobots who twist the plot. And I love, she actually annotated on this, and she says, right now, when you think about the political climate and those in positions of power, all these characters, there are Autobots, there are Decepticons, which one are you? Yeah, it was just me being like, man, Transformers, they saw it, they knew it. It reminds me of where we are right now. I love about serious.
I like to think I'm more of a Maximal myself.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think that that was more relevant to me. But no, I love that she I hear like people mention Decepticons and Autobots in rap frequently, and well, it happens. But I love that she has like a serious explanation for it, and I never thought about that though. Autobots, like robot, automatic, like drones, and then Decepticons, like being
computers.
Yeah. So,
and they're deceptive.
Yeah. So
they put thought into these names.
Yeah. Although I don't, except for the
Dinobot monster.
I was gonna say
he was
I don't
not
know.
Quite an Autobot, but hey, it worked.
I think when they came up with them, they were just like, these sound cool. But like Autobot,
there's a whole documentary on it you can watch on Netflix, Brad.
Oh, okay.
So just let the people watch that, and we'll be okay.
Okay, all right. The toys that made us, right? Is that what you're talking about?
The toys that made us.
I will have to watch. I will
episode.
watch the Transformers episode. I mean, that's
you should watch the Transformers episode. I can't believe you haven't yet. Anyways,
I might have actually, but I'll watch it again. But yeah, let's get on to one more track though before we get into our break. We're at the halfway point just about, and this track is called Pink. Here we go.
We got the pink. Pink like the inside of your baby. Pink like the walls and the doors. Deep inside. Maybe pink like your fingers in my.
And that one is featuring Grimes. So
song credits to Steven Tyler there. It's just like I
saw that.
Yeah, to their song Pink.
Wait, what?
Pink by Aerosmith?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it sounds like they're quoting the I mean they're not quoting the song.
Okay.
But they're not sampling it either. But they're giving it credit because it's like pink is a color.
It's an homage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an homage to. Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, there's another one like that. I forget. I'll try to look for it. But yeah, this I don't know. Which of you have seen? How many of you have seen the music video for this?
I just looked it up as we were preparing.
Okay. Well, yeah, I recommend watching this music video because it's like it's shocking in a really cool way. They actually hired this woman, Emma Westenberg, a Dutch filmmaker, that was born in Berkeley, actually. But this was her first music video. And international music video, and yeah, she really brought a lot of really cool, I'm trying to find a word better than shocking. There's a better word. Yes. Say that one more time.
Provocative.
I saw you said it, and then my brain said prerogative. But provocative. It's all very provocative. And what I'm talking about is they're wearing these. The dancers in the video are wearing these dresses that look like vaginas. They're pink, and they get like darker pink in the middle. Like there's folds. Like it's very much like intentionally. Like all throughout the video, they are making allusions to vaginas, and but that being said, they're not just taking a heteronormative approach with that either. That's why it has the Y in the pink. They wanted to also represent women that do not have the same parts. So they are represented in the video as well. Not all of them are wearing the vagina dresses. So yeah, it's another really great celebration of being a woman, no matter what you were born as or what certain people might call you. So yeah, really, really positive message, and I love the way they executed with the music video, because yeah, it's pink, of course, because that's the gender norms or whatever that people have for stuff. But there's a cool line though: if it's cool if you got the blue, we got the pink, But yeah. What do you guys think of this track? I've kind of said a lot about it already, but I have a lot of thoughts on these songs.
I think it's another one of those ones that's just like very direct.
Yeah.
And that's a very good thing. Like that's that we're strongly in favor of the song.
Yeah. It's very subversive. Like it's just shy of like not being allowed on the radio, but there's they like purposely leave off like the last word. Like I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Like pink like the inside of your, and they don't say anything, baby.
Your
pink, yeah.
Yes.
Like,
yes. We're all something on the outside, but we're all the same color on the inside.
Yeah, yeah. And
the reason
I'm talking about like their vagina, but like because there's certain times where it's like it's implied that that's what she's like talking about or whatever, in a tongue-in-cheek kind of way. But yeah, I like that you have to, she leaves it for you to infer.
It's up to your own interpretation, as it were.
Yeah,
it's
very good pop music. What, Jake?
I can't. I did mean to interrupt with the white guys thing, but it's like I can't. I shouldn't be the one talking about this song.
I know, but we have to. It's
you
on our docket.
You guys can do it.
We do have to.
Yeah. But I think that it's just a really it's it's got a good message. It's something that I know all of my my trans friends would really appreciate the message in this song. It's it's inclusive too. It's because there are some feminist women that consider themselves feminist that don't support trans rights or trans women in the same way that they support.
God bless America. You get everybody all across the board and everything.
Yeah, I know. Everyone is capable
sometimes.
of drawing lines in the sand. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah.
I was thinking about the whole genre thing that we were going into, and how it's like, well, people can have any genre, there's no rules, and like if politics had more of the genres in it, maybe people wouldn't, it wouldn't be so me versus you,
Yes.
Yeah.
The two-party system needs to end. Yeah, we need like a multitude of stuff again.
And the same thing with
we need more
gender.
Genres in our politics.
The same thing with gender. Gender should, be the way we think about music. So
yeah. Like there's no like.
It shouldn't be secular versus non-secular, which was one way that people looked at music a very long time ago.
Yeah, like humans are supposed, like it's weird that we're even like wearing clothes. Like everything that we do is like an unprecedented thing.
I still blame
nature.
Adam and Eve for that one.
Well,
that's their fault.
Also, we
could have been frolicking around in a garden naked for generations, but they fucked it up. I don't know who fucked it up. I don't know which one. But they fucked it up.
Well, yeah. We also lost our hair after a while, and it got real cold as we tried to cross that.
Especially once we left Africa,
Yeah.
Those of us that went into Europe into the deep cold.
Well, then there was that little ice age.
Those winters got cold.
That little ice age, I think, was probably where the clothes really came in clutch. Yeah. But what I'm saying though is like, there's like to say that there is a strict guidelines to what you should be as a human being is ridiculous. It's not something that you should impose on someone else as long as it's not affecting your life. So yeah. Anyway, we've got into a lot about that. Let's. Do you guys want to get into our break before we get into the second half of the album? Yeah, we're at a good point here, and we will be right back with the next 7 tracks of Dirty Computer.
The album concept hour.
Dirty Computer.
The album concept hour.
All right, welcome back to everybody to the Album Concept Hour. I am your host, Brad LeBaron, and we are listening again to Janelle Monae's Dirty Computer, and we just got through the first half of that. I'm with my co-hosts, Virtual John and Jake. What's going on, guys? And we also have our guest, Grant Summerland. Welcome back.
Hello.
Hello. I didn't have like a question ready for you besides welcome back. Oh wait, actually, I do have one question here. I wrote it down. Cold or Runnabee? Any context on that? Cold or Runnabee? Still confused about.
Still wondering.
Just don't know.
Do you want the actual real answer?
You don't have. You don't have to if you don't want to.
I am wondering. I've been wondering since we did the show.
It will help me get to sleep at night. Yeah, if you.
Yes, sure. Most definitely.
So sometimes the way I write songs is that when I have an instrumental, because a lot of times the songs are either one or two things. Or either you have the song fully formed in your head, right, and you want to just translate it directly into like a real thing, or B, you have like stuff that you just kind of play around with, and you add stuff and you take away stuff until you actually end up finally getting some sort of finished product. So Wanna Be is one of those songs where I just kind of had like loops, and I had like a guitar loop, and I was like, well, it would be really good with this drum break. I put the drums on. I was like, okay, well, I put a bass, and I just kind of, and then one of the things I do at least to make lyrics, if it's one of those songs, is I just kind of put in filler lyrics where it's like, I want lyrics to sound like this, and I actually have like even like specific like syllables or like specific sounds that I want, where I'm like, oh, it'd be good with like an O there, or oh, it'd be good with like an A there, right? So Runnabee was one of the first songs where that was like a technique I used, and I was like, that sounds like what I kind of want to have for that chorus. And then eventually I got to a point where I was and this is the only song I ever really did this for, where I was like so used to that, and that I was like, that's it. I don't care. That's the chorus.
That's the chorus now. Yes.
Yeah. So it's literally just cool. Like, it's literally just nonsense. Like that's the only line on that album that I will say that about, but like that is actually just like doesn't mean anything.
Oh man,
I don't remember what my answer was to that, but I'm super satisfied with that answer.
Yeah. It was one of those things where I'm like, that has to mean something. Like I was like,
Cold the Runnabee.
Because and also that's really cool description for your technique. That's very, very interesting. I wouldn't have I don't know. It seems like I would have never thought about doing it that way, but that's so smart to, because you're trying to keep everything in mind, because you're doing most of it, right? You're mostly a one-man band, right?
Oh yeah, I'm actually entirely a one-man band with Grant and Summerland, at least, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So so it seems like you have a vision when you're doing this stuff.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, and I know last time when you guys asked me that, the album was just out, and I was like, I can't just say it's like doesn't mean anything. Like I wasn't comfortable enough to be it's just like nonsense, like just ignore it, like it's nonsense. But yeah.
Happens more than
that's the answer.
Yeah. Happens more than you think. When we were doing Black Sabbath, that episode on Between the Sheets, Brent said that Paranoid was like them just like messing around and just throwing a song together. So I mean, I think it's got a place in every album.
Yeah. Sometimes there's just a thing that's like it's something for them, But yeah. I love those. There have been what am I thinking? There was one song where that became a big. They had taken and recorded what they wanted it to be, and it ended up in the final track. I think that happens sometimes in the studio. If you just get like such a good take, like on the one time that like you can't ever replicate it.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll have the one take, and then they'll spend like hours redoing it, and then they'll go back and look and be like, oh, we're going with the first take.
Yeah. So Sometimes it's just the way it is. You know?
That would have to be so frustrating.
Well, I feel like if you're making music, you have to steel yourself to like accept those kinds of losses of time, or not see them as losses of time.
Yeah.
At least, because there's definitely times where you try really hard to make a song work and it just doesn't. And and then sometimes it takes you like 10 minutes to make a song and it's perfect. And you're like, okay, cool. But anyway, you guys want to get into the first track back on the second half of this thing? We got Make Me Feel, which is this is probably the biggest single. If you've heard any of them, this is probably the one you've heard. At least it's the first one I was exposed to. But yeah, this is Make Me Feel.
That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. Ooh, so fucking good. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel.
And if you are
that has just got Prince's timestamp all over it. Boom, 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 boom.
Dude, yeah. I was about to say, if you are a Sharpbeard listener, you will recognize that synth, and he's got to be the guitar. It's got to be him on the guitar. I can't accept that anyone else did that.
or it is somebody else, but playing it in the style of Prince, like they're
yes, right. Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I feel like since it's posthumously done, like I don't know. I'd feel if I was the guitarist, I'd feel weird about it.
Well, wait, but Prince is on this album.
Yes. So I think that.
Do we know, is he on this song?
Yeah, this is the one that she says in interviews that he was on. They had like from what I can gather, they had a close relationship, and he had sent her some stuff for production before he passed away, and I don't know. I'm guessing the only reason his name's not on the liner notes is because he was passed away by the time it came out, maybe. And
and
area legally.
There is always a weird thing with Prince's music. Through
oh
yeah, that's right.
In defense of that, Jake, when Prince passed away, I remember I tried to play Prince radio that day at work, at Falbo's actually, and all day we got everything but, and it was like Ted was like, oh, I bet the rights to his songs are all up in air right now.
Yeah, and I think
they can't play them.
For me, it was like I couldn't stream a lot of it before, and then
I don't think it was ever very accessible on streaming platforms. But...
And then and the same thing with Glenn Frey, the same thing happened after he died. There was this one, I'm going to say it's shitty, but I really wanted it, in this like album called No Fun Allowed, and all of a sudden he died, and all of a sudden it just became available. It's just really weird how those things work.
Yeah, like didn't they try to finish like a Michael Jackson album too after he died?
Yeah,
with random stuff.
They did a whole thing with Akon. There was a whole track of.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, no, it's always a little weird when that happens, you know. But here it feels very like it adds to the song so much. It's such a good riff and such a good like synth part. Like this feels like a Prince song. It feels very much like this is something. Honestly, she's like Prince in a lot of ways, pushing the boundary with gender norms and sexuality, and being more androgynous in her style. So yeah, I feel like she's the spiritual successor to Prince right now, maybe
in a whole new not that I guess Prince is African American, but like a different
environment.
Yeah, definitely. And she's a female, so that presents its own set in a whole new way, that she like in a whole new platform to tackle as we kind of talked about
great.
before.
You know, that always helps too.
And she's great.
And she's great.
She's also pretty great.
That does help.
Yeah. But yeah, my first note was like, this would make Prince proud, and then I'm like, wait a minute, and then I like looked it up, I'm like, Prince has to have been involved in this, but then I didn't see him in the liner notes, and I was like, oh, I don't know. But yeah, definitely. I don't think that that this is a fabrication. I think Prince is on this, and yeah, really, really great track. And this is this gets to in the movie and in the music video. This gets to the core of, or the first, I think, encounter between her character Jane and Tessa's character, and there's also the dude. I'm only referring to him that way because he's as far as screen time, he's got very little screen time. And I don't remember his name in the movie, but yeah, it's
number two.
What was that? Oh shit! Oh,
just like when people in like credits are just like person number 2, or like, you know, dude number 2. Or
oh
like,
yeah,
you know, cook number 2.
Yeah. This was, I mean, he's in all the scenes at least, you know, once, but yeah, they have a well, she's dating both Tessa and the guy. Well, I'm saying dating, but that sounds old timey. I feel like
no. Dating is not old timey. You can date. You can date.
But anyway, they're getting to know each other.
Of boyfriend girlfriend is old timey.
Yeah. They're hanging out in the club. They're like, you know, they're getting to know each other. You know, with the music and you know, the sensual kind of side of things, like when you're, you know, first meeting someone, and you know, noticing your attraction to them, and yeah, it's another big celebration of that. Yeah, the way you make me feel. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have too much to say about the lyrics though. It's like, it's a very just positive vibe, positive message.
Yeah, again, another song I feel like is really direct. Yeah. Right, it's pretty upfront about what it means, and that works in its favor.
Yeah.
Once again.
Yeah. Like yeah, I don't know. I don't have too much, like I said, there's not too much to say about this track, I guess. She really says it all, you know? And it's the sound speaks for itself. It's just, yeah, it's just a great track all around. I don't know. But yeah, you guys want to move on to track 9 though? We have in this track we have Pharrell coming in. So this is I Got the Juice.
Got to tell ya, I got the juice. Baby, I got the juice.
It's a freak scene in it. Yeah. Wet dream in it. Waking up like Ween in it. Me and your jeans in it. Yeah. Yellow like pee in it. Oh no, I mean.
I like that there's a Ween reference.
I was gonna say that.
That's why I picked. That's part of the reason I picked that clip. I mean, first of all, it's Pharrell, and you know, Pharrell's great. But
Pharrell is great.
Yeah. Don't get a lot of Ween references though in hip hop or pop.
Or any genre.
But I love anywhere at all. But I love.
Well, yes, it's definitely the minimalism of it that makes it so special. No question.
Yeah. But I love that Pharrell Williams, you know, obviously is like a huge like producer guy. So I mean, I'm sure he appreciates Ween for the right things. You know what I mean? He probably sees all those like recording techniques that they use. And was like, yeah,
he better.
Fucking Ween's great. Yeah, it's another. This is another, you know, really empowering song about how, you know, she's got the juice, like she's got the, you know, the gumption to fucking do what she wants to do, and she's gonna do it. And this part here where she says, "Down dog, don't think about it. Down dog, don't think about it." It actually reminded me of a different thing that I need to talk to. I need to bring up in the podcast. This is a correction of sorts, but for the song "Who Let the Dogs Out," right?
Baha Men.
Yes, by the Baha Men.
By the Baha Men, yes.
I was reminded of it because there's a fact that I found out recently. But so you were saying that it's about, who let all of the quote unquote like ugly girls in the club,
the female not as great looking women club into the club, yes.
Which is okay. So apparently that's partially true, but the song is actually supposed to be a anthem against the guys that are catcalling. Because "Who Let the Dogs Out" is the girls being catcalled, replying to the guys catcalling them. So, the song is actually about the opposite of that. It's about calling out the people that are doing that. So I found that very interesting. Like both of those things are believed, though. Like a lot of people do think what you said, John.
Okay.
But it's supposed to be like a tongue-in-cheek, kind of feminist anthem, actually. So, yeah, I thought that was really, while we were on the subject, I thought that, we've mentioned that a few times in the podcast. I wanted to get the record clear on that actual meaning behind that song. But anyway, I don't like this line, though. "Yellow like pee in it. Yeah, oh no, I mean me in it." I'm not a fan of that line, just because I don't know why he's... I don't know why he's talking. He's bringing pee into this.
Yeah, it's a little awkward.
But I don't know. I know it's like it's a line, but I don't know. "Yellow like pee in it." Maybe he really needed to go.
Sorry, it's just like,
and he needed to finish up. He needed to finish up this verse. What do you think, Rand? Am I getting into the mind of the songwriter?
No, dude, it's just a funny line. I don't know. I don't know
it's such a weird line to bring such attention to. This is your verse in this song.
Yeah. I guess he's Pharrell, so I don't know, he can get away with it.
In defense of Pharrell, I guess in the lyrics it says P as just a capital P.
That's true. So maybe okay. So is he okay? I guess he could be talking about the Master P's and the all those other P's.
I don't know the lyrics I got say P-E-E.
I don't know.
Like P in it. Oh no, I mean in it.
Yeah, Pharrell. If you have any explanation on this,
please send us a message. We would love clarification.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. There's a thing on Genius here that I'm clicking into from a contributor. Pharrell has a special place for the color yellow. He put out a song called "Yellow Light" in June 2017 for the release of Despicable Me 3. Sells some bright yellow Adidas and has a number of album covers prominently featuring the color. He says, "Your jeans are yellow, not just the P, but P and Pharrell."
Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't know. I mean, if you read out the line, assuming he wrote it out, "yellow like P in it."
Yeah.
You have to know. You have to know that that's what that might sound like, right? Even if you mean P like Pharrell,
And in a song called "I Got the Juice."
Yeah, and
so
talk.
What is he saying? What is he saying?
He's
peeing on the industry.
Quite a bit of the song going back to those nice explicit moments we were talking about earlier, with the female organ grabbing onto the male organ.
Oh, if you try to grab my pussycat, this pussy gonna grab you back?
Yes. Again. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Nice wording of it, Brad. Nice wording of it. Yes.
This is how she words it. I think that they have a T-shirt actually that says it. There was some girls in the background of her music videos that had that on their shirt. But that's referring to the now infamous line from former President number 45 about grabbing.
Yes, of the grabbing of the female organ. Yes.
And this is like pretty close. This is closer to the like Women's March stuff too, which was a big response to Trump in general. So yeah, this was definitely and still is important, but yeah, very much like post Me Too. This was at the forefront of our conversations, and yeah, and like I said, should still be. That's not over. But yeah.
It does end with the lines of "dirty computer," though.
Yeah, it brings
dirty
it back
cop,
to the
really coming back to the theme of the album, as it were.
Yeah. And she's the truth. I love it when people say they're the truth.
Yes.
It's especially when they are like legit, like
trying to speak the truth.
Yeah. Like when her Killer Mike says it, I'm like, yeah, for sure. But shouldn't be overused probably. We have a couple more tracks for you guys. We have I Like That is our next track. So I really appreciate this one. I like that.
Cause my mama couldn't afford new J's Polo, thrift store, thrift clothes. That was all I knew. Do you remember? I remember when you laughed when I cut my perm off and you rated me a 6. I was like, damn. But even back then with the tears in my eyes, I always knew I was the shit.
Yeah.
Got to give a shout out. This is my girl's favorite track on this album.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's very personal. It's very, yeah. Were you going to say something, Jake?
It's knowing her as like from that role in Hidden Figures, I don't know. It fits so well. I don't know.
From the what?
From the movie Hidden Figures. Like that's my first, was my first introduction to her as like in a longer period of time.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one yet, but she's seems like everything she does is pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very personal song, kind of getting a little bit back to that Django Jane biographical songwriting. And the part that I picked like really kind of gets into the kind of insecurities and feelings of being in middle school maybe or high school and being looking different maybe, and just the the inability to kind of process that at that point in her life, and how it affected her. But I like I enjoy this one because of how personal it feels.
Well, it's definitely a good perspective to come off of.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of there's a lot of like individuality into this song.
Yeah,
well, a little rough around the edges, but
yeah.
I like to keep it smooth. I'm always left of center, and that's right where I belong. That's that seems like most Americans. Like that seems like most people, like where most people are. It's just we tend to get separated by our issues.
Yeah, that's true. And I think getting to that point, it's also part of the message is to say that I like this, and I don't need to I don't need to explain myself as to why I like this.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I think this is also kind of a response to people always asking her about her sexual identity and bringing it up a lot in interview in the media and all that. Because this album came out, I believe, before she came out as pansexual. Although I mean, her character in the movie is obviously pansexual. She this was something like she was kind of responding to how people were trying to put her in a box, essentially, as far as who she was, compared to like past, musicians and artists, yeah, but she's not the type that fits in a box. So, yeah.
It goes really nicely into the next track, I think.
Yeah. This next track is "Don't Judge Me," and this is the longest track on the album, and she really takes her time with it. Here is "Don't Judge Me."
Even though you tell me you love me, I'm afraid that you just love my disguise. Taste my fears and light your candle to my raging fire.
Yeah. Me and John were saying that this is very reminiscent of like 90s.
Yes,
R&B.
very 90s R&B.
Yeah.
Oh, we really like very, very Brandy, Aaliyah, even the Fugees.
Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, brain fart.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it has some really, really good, just smooth, good love song. Because it's very, very, intimate, talking about her lover, and complication with I don't know, loving in an not unconventional, loving in a non-heteronormative relationship, I guess. Yeah. But yeah. What do you guys think of this one?
No, I very much enjoyed this song. It's very nostalgic feeling.
Yeah.
From the lyrics really down to the instrumentation and
it seems kind of sad a little bit too,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even from the clip you picked, tell me you love. It really seems like a person really trying to get an answer.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really know what they're feeling. They want they want some confirmation.
Actually, yeah. To expand on that, there is actually a quote from her on this track. Not direct. She didn't make the genius note, but someone else did.
Mm-hmm.
But it says, "What inspired this song? Those vulnerable moments of in between the moment you text something naughty and forbidden to them, and the 3 replying dots appear to linger forever while you wait for the answer, and your stomach curls into a ball. In between what you say publicly and what you do privately, in between the face on the red carpet photo and the face in the mirror, in between what America says about freedom, but then actively does to me and my brothers and sisters, in between my mama and my loved ones and the way I live and love in my new life." So, yeah, I think you're right on the money with that, John. Yeah, like yeah, that fear,
way of saying
that fear of being judged not just by like a lover, but by
everybody.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen? Well, it's always that's the fear of putting yourself out there. Like. What if I'm wrong and then that person goes and tells everybody what I did? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What is everyone gonna think of me when they think that I did that?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big part of anxiety,
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
especially
a big part of why love is so gosh darn hard these days,
Yeah. Well, it's always been
hard. Well, love has always been hard. You're absolutely
notoriously
right. You're
hard,
absolutely
yes.
right. Absolutely.
Yeah. But
yeah, I just watched Hitch the other day, so that's kind of where my mindset was coming from. Great movie.
Classic.
Movie, by the way.
Classic film.
Yeah.
But I think maybe she's talking about now that you say that, I mean, maybe she is like literally talking about like America as like the lover in this song.
Well, again, the last song is being an American and being in love with being an American.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Like, because she seems like she wants to love America, but she, there's obviously it's hard to love a country that doesn't love you and support you, So, yeah. Really good track though. Really, this is one that I think really gets better every time you listen to it. Like the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, this track's really long. Like it's really long and slow. I don't know about this. But like, it's like, it's really, really soulful and just a good one. Just good 90s R&B type of track. If you
very, very.
If you miss that,
really, really brings you back, but still kind of like feels modern,
Yeah.
Very, very well done. Very well done.
Definitely. All right. Well, this next track has another legend on the album. This is Stevie Wonder, and this is Stevie's Dream.
Yes, another small track.
Yeah.
Even when you're upset, use words of love, because God is love. Allah is love. Jehovah is love. So don't let your expressions.
Solid fucking message.
You know what I really like about that clip that you picked, and I know it's a really small clip in general, because it's a small track, but I like what you picked because he says all the versions of whatever, like he says like 3 major versions of whatever that force is that's out there, that's helping us move along, whatever force it is for you, whatever force it was for you. It's love. It's love. It's literally about love and about trying to help us advance and move on.
Yeah. And to look at how we act towards others.
Exactly.
When we get into our negativity.
How to be towards each other. And that's part of advancing. We're supposed to be better towards all of us now. That's
If you know
that's part of
something's
moving
wrong,
along.
then you stop doing that thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just people are people, man.
People are people, man.
People are people.
I also think this kind of as far as the theme for the album goes, this represents like the change into the after credits scene in the movie. In the movie, just to catch you up to this point, what has happened is they've gone through several memories which these songs represent, and they have erased them. A couple of them have been dreams, like this one and Jane's dream. Here's a key part of the story that I probably should have mentioned earlier. After being captured by this dystopian society where they wipe your mind if you're disruptive in whatever way in society, she's brought to this facility, and her nurse or doctor taking care of her and getting through the I guess the room part of it is Tessa Thompson, who used to be her lover. So she still has some of her memories, and Tessa doesn't have any of her memories at the beginning, but throughout the film starts to remember certain things, because Janelle has a tattoo that she applied to Janelle Monae at some point in the movie, and eventually they Tessa Thompson realizes that she is her old lover, and at this point she has to lead her into the final step for the Neverminder gas. So that's the last little bit that she needs to wipe her memories clean after that. So, yeah, that's where we're at so far in the story. And yeah, I think that Stevie Wonder thing is like kind of a transition to like the maybe not the after credits, but the end of the film. I don't know if the Stevie's Dream stuff is actually in the film part of it, but yeah, like I don't think all of this is in the film, but
as a final note to this, I would like to say that this is definitely Stevie Wonder's dream.
Yeah,
and that is definitely like it is a nice world dream for everybody.
Yeah. We have some Stevie Wonder on the list now, by the way. So we're going to get to
inversions, right?
Intervisions.
Is it Intervisions? I always thought it was Inversions. Okay, all right, my bad.
Completely different album, John.
Yeah.
What?
Does he have an Inversions too?
No.
Oh, okay. Just kidding. That would be. You should do that to fuck with people.
Probably will be Ed Sheeran as the division sign, right? So
it must have been my own dyslexia. Must have misread that.
Intervisions, Songs in the Key of Life. There's Stevie Wonder's
Songs in the Key of Life. Such a album.
Yeah. He's got a couple concept albums. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. But yeah, you want to get on to the next track? This is So Afraid. It's the second to last track of the album, and yeah, and let's see what I picked.
I'm so afraid. What if I lose? Is what I think to myself.
Yeah. So Afraid.
So what did I say before? You guys remember? About this one? I can't remember. But her like personal journey, right? Is that right?
Yeah. Something about her personal journey. She's afraid. What if I think to myself, I'm fine in my shell? I'm afraid of it all, afraid of loving you. I think some of this might be referring to again, like going outside of gender norms and sexual orientation, and afraid of the the public repercussions for that, and I think just afraid for, just in general living in the United States, being a black woman, and seeing how the police state treats them.
Yeah, being a woman in general sometimes too. I mean,
it's still we're still. I wanted to say I haven't mentioned it much, but I do think this is a very like anti-patriarchal album too. Like it's we don't talk about patriarchy a whole lot, but like I think this album is definitely trying to challenge the patriarchy, and it kind of inserts some new norms and a new vision for what the future could be. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Like I haven't forgot about the fact that that's a core theme here. Because it is, I think that's a big part of, I think, the millennial, zillennial kind of movement in general is challenging those, preconceived ideas and traditions, and growing into something better.
Yeah, and I think this song, this is a really important song for the album, especially at the end, because it's kind of easy to take what's come before it in terms of like it challenging, gender norms or race norms or whatever. But to actually, especially after, maybe a song like Django Jane, to say, well, I am putting myself out there and I am firm in my beliefs. Yeah. But it's also really hard, right? And like this is the only time I feel like she's actually opened up and been like, yeah, like I say these things and I stand for these things proudly, but it still makes me afraid, right? And I think for her to acknowledge that is really important. So I think this is like a really like critical like track on the album.
Yeah.
And the whole
relatable track.
The coin between this one and the next song being wanting to be like this embrace of America, this vision of America that like is so much of what she wants.
Yeah. Like
and it's a good vision.
Yeah.
An
inner vision.
Right.
Yeah. An inner vision, yes.
Yeah. And I also think one thing that, and you guys feel free to disagree with this, but I think one thing she's doing throughout this album is she does this kind of constantly, is she basically sets up this, I guess, dichotomy, right? Of thinking about like how like relationships, like where she's talking about like, like, oh, I'm in love with you, or like, I'm in a relationship with you, or I'm attracted to you. And how she uses that to talk about her own personal sexuality, but that's also the same as her relationship to the country she lives in, right? Where she's like, well, I'm attracted to it, but there's, but there are issues, and I'm afraid of it all. I'm afraid of loving you, right? Where it's like, I'm afraid of everything that comes with loving you, right? And that could be either for her sexuality, or that can be for her position in this country as a entertainer, a woman of color. So,
and that's I think that's what I was like alluding to earlier when we were talking about the first couple tracks. Those two being linked in different perspectives, and then these two.
Mm-hmm.
No, I like that theory about it. I definitely think that she's definitely drawing those connections pretty clearly in a lot of the songs. Like, as far as, you don't have to think too much about what the metaphors represent, as far as the double entendres, because there's, they work so easily for those things.
That's probably what, not probably, but like, and I'm not trying to speak for anybody, but like, for a lot of these people that saw this country go down a place where it wasn't, it was not a place for them. I could, see
definitely not a safe place.
Yeah, and for a leader to a leader and more to be like pushing that message away.
It was disgusting.
That had to be, I mean, and we're all, white males, as we've said, and so we have that privilege, and it's, I mean, we were terrified. I think we were mostly not cool with the last 4 years, but like we weren't on the chopping block necessarily. You know what I mean? We weren't.
No, we have the
our rights were not being infringed upon.
No, not at all. We are. You don't want to say we're bitching for nothing, but at the same time, like we're bitching for something. It's
yeah. You can't complain.
We still
too much.
believe, but we know what's up. We know we're not the ones sitting there. We're the ones on the side of the chopping block going, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Come on.
And more importantly, like these days, it's also, not white men that are leading the discussion, which is important. Because like sometimes like there was like those progressive things happening, but at any point it was still like the white guy was still the guy.
The white guy was taking advice from the other guy.
Yeah. And so I like that it's not, even if they are progressive,
it's not that anymore.
It's like we need to.
It still is mostly that, but we have to get away from that. We're working on that. We're definitely moving towards that.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, you want to get on to the next track? I think it really gets into what we're talking about.
Yeah,
these two kind of work really well.
Very important finale.
Yeah. But yeah, this is Americans. Is the final track of the album.
I like that you got that big old piece of American Pie in there.
Yeah.
Because it's significant throughout the song, and it's
yeah. Well, it's some of the time she's like, she has a kind of tongue in cheek, like she's saying, the bridge is like, I like my woman in the kitchen. I teach my children superstitions. I keep my 2 guns on my nightstand. Pretty young thing. She can wash my clothes, but she'll never ever wear my pants. So like, she's like, she's obviously saying like, in jest, she's making fun of the fact that that's the way that a lot of people still view the world. But still, trying to take that patriotic thing and I don't know, create her own version of it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think kind of one of the things that she has been talking about throughout, the album constantly, right, is that she wants to be, right, she wants to be every part of who she is, right, just fully. And I think she I don't, you guys, again, feel free to disagree, but I feel like she's at least considering the fact on this track that maybe this might be a country where that allows her to do that. Maybe not yet, but it could be a place that allows her to fully be herself and fully be successful and fully be appreciated for who she is and her talents in a way that maybe other countries don't. But she can't do it without also acknowledging the things that also kind of are holding the country back, right, at the same breath, right?
Because it's hard to even to just have to maintain the positivity that things will get better. That in itself is a fight. Because you can you can get sucked into like world news or something on Reddit and just get just pounded with these depressing things, get angry and depressed and just kind of be in a bad state. But which is important to do sometimes. It's important to learn stuff that makes you uncomfortable, but being able to look towards the next day and the day after that and be like, all right, well, regardless of all this stuff, we need to make the best of it.
And it's ties back to the line from the first full track, right, where I am not America's nightmare, I am the American dream. And I feel like that's part of what this song is trying to get at, is she in many ways she is the American dream, right? She she's a successful entertainer who she has money, she has fame, she's able to star in movies, she's able to make the albums she wants, and she's able to really have it all just by being herself. But that also the coming with that also comes with all this kind of baggage to have a country that can set you up for that. It's a double-edged sword, right? And then
and part of the country, she is the American nightmare.
Yeah, exactly, right. So she's or I'm sure many of us at our age look at her and we're like, that's the American dream. I get it, someone who actually makes it an entertainment that way, but also to many people, so.
When I look at my youngest siblings, they they are really far more progressive than I was. I was trying to be progressive or whatever, but they are I have a lot of faith in.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of faith.
I totally see that.
I
see that in just my friends, younger siblings.
They're also pretty polite. I don't know what that's about, but they seem. I don't know. Maybe you're seeing I don't know, but they seem like they got some decent manners.
It's because bro. I'm telling you, it's the whole service industry thing. It's the whole service industry thing. Because even if you just have an older sibling or a parent that did that, there's so many people that just go, just be nice to them. I know sometimes they're having a bad day, but that's what it is,
So it's customer service is bleeding into
it's customer service is bleeding into the mainstream, so it's becoming a reverse customer service, all right.
That doesn't sound...
you good. Don't worry. Just make sure I get the food, and everything's gonna be cool.
Well, I hope that they're just being polite because they're growing. We're growing.
No. We're growing as a people, though. We're supposed to.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. Like
we could all use a little bit more customer service.
Absolutely, everyone can.
I think
it's. I tell everybody. Just.
I hope you guys are right. I do, and I think it's getting better. But again, where we are and who we're around, I've worked with kids in different areas. And just this is southern Wisconsin, so that's not like a huge thing.
Bro.
But like as you go further away from Madison, there's it's different, and a lot of things are good, but it's just a whole perspective, and hopefully it's expanding, and it's just going to take time.
What I'm hoping is I work in an old folks home, so what I'm hoping is certain attitudes die away soon, because they're very annoying. They can be very annoying amongst some of the older folks. That's all. That's
no,
all.
I get you, John. I get you, and I don't think they're all those older attitudes.
No. It's definitely not a blanket term. There is not. It is not.
I just meant not all the older attitudes are just within that facility.
All right, Herb, we've heard about all lives matter enough today, all right?
Right. I'm done.
What I want is someday when I go into a bar in, I don't know, outside of Madison,
Wanatoba or something like that, or
sure,
Cambridge.
I just don't want somebody to
the lacrosse or something like that.
I don't want somebody to just come in and just be like, where I have to be like, hey, that's not right. Like, I just don't want to have that's.
Every day that's getting a little less. It's not getting as less as I'd like it to, but it's getting a little less every day.
I hope so. I don't know, but she leaves it on a pretty positive note on the album, though. Like she's, in this one, she's if she ended it on the last track, it would have been a more like somber, I guess negative perspective on that. But she does leave it on a high note, and I'd like to hope that her hopes are well placed too.
Mm-hmm.
There's we've lived 2 extra years of the Trump years than this album has, so
we made it through it,
and the freaking pandemic with that. So, a lot has happened.
Yeah, but I do think it's like this song, and I guess this album overall, right, is not about what period of time it was made, but what like the period, like it is a forward looking album where I think a lot of, especially this song, is like looking where it's like, well, I'm looking forward to the day when these attitudes are gone, and when this there is no American nightmare, there is only this American dream that is actually, because that's one of the things that I think she's critical throughout the album of the classic American dream. But she also acknowledges that like that is actually a good idea, and she would like that to be a real thing. And that in a sense, in the fact that this album is her essentially making it, right? And like she is now making the American dream, and she's like, well, now I want that for everyone, right? And I do think it's kind of important that it ends on the line, "Please sign your name on the dotted line."
Oh, that is the best ending,
right? Because I think that acknowledges that paradox really well.
That's the signing. That's the like. Please acknowledge what we said. Please.
Yeah.
Right there. Right there. That's all you got to do. Just sign that, then we'll move on. Then we'll talk about other stuff.
Because it's her, right? It's like her
advance on.
Yeah, committing to these ideals that she's put forward, but also acknowledging that when she signs the dotted line, maybe that's like a contract in the music industry, which the
last song.
Yeah.
To me, just the last song in general, she's saying, "I'm an American. I'm not going anywhere." But that means I want to fix what we have. Here we go. This is what we're looking for. Sign on that.
That's the thing. Because you hear all the time, like, during the Trump presidency, especially, like, oh, I'm going to move to a different country, or oh, I'm going to move to Canada, I'm going to move to, Europe, blah, blah, blah. But like, that's a very like privileged like idea because most people can't move. Most people can't get out of here like that.
And what's funny about it? What's funny about it is that for a lot of white people in particular that have said that, it's a reverse privilege idea, because it's like oh, there's been so many like I have family included that have gone, oh, if they want to go back, we'll give them a free ticket, we'll send them right back, like for.
As far as like racist stuff goes.
Like as far as like racist shit, it's
man,
like
that's old school.
Yeah,
that's old school racism.
Yeah. Well, also new school though. Jeez.
Yeah.
Fuck, you're right. I was saying that in jest, but no, it's that is something that current.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go that deep, but like that's where my brain goes with that.
Well, what's disturbing is you can hear even young people say that these days.
Mm-hmm.
That's the disturbing part.
Yeah.
But hopefully they don't stay in those clubs for long.
That's what we're trying to get. That's what we're trying
hopefully
to
it's just
get rid of.
A phase
on
for these
sides.
Angry alt-right kids,
Well, I will say the way that the world is expanding, that part is a good thing. The fact that you can get so many views by walking, like not even having to walk out your door. Like if kids are being exposed to it the right way, like sometimes social media directs people within like-minded people, so that's where you get the real issues. But I think if kids like if it's done in the right way, you can get different perspectives that make a big impact on a lot of these people, and so you'd get this album or this viewpoint from this last track. It would just, I think it's so important, and so and if all kids were able to have that viewpoint exposed to them, I think it just would be it'd be great.
And I think it's a really good point about what you said about how that, like saying like, oh well, I'm gonna just move to another country if Trump gets elected. Like that's like a white kind of like a white liberal.
It's a very white privileged.
Yeah, idea. That's a very white thing to say. And I think part of what she's saying on this track, and kind of what she's saying even with the title of 2 tracks ago, Stevie's Dream, where that is like Stevie Wonder's dream, is that is an American thing. And that being black is as American as anything else, right? And so she is.
That's all we're looking for. Like seriously, think about all the laws and rules that we have, and all of a sudden, all that matters is what people do, and not the color of their skin, not where they're from.
Yeah.
Just think about that. Laws mattering because of what people do, not because of the other bullshit.
That's a very radical idea, John. Are you talking about people being given consequences for their actions, like corporations?
But only when we get to a point where that's what matters. Like, Jesus Christ. Even corporation bull crap, like they want to like put that down on everybody and just be, but like there's an evenness to everything. Everybody just works then.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I've learned from my parents' view of what America should be, is that when you work, they work for you and you work for them, and everybody works for each other. And it's just so horrible that's not where we're at anymore.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah, it's usually just you're working for them.
That's a 99.9.
But it's like there's just so much merit to making us believe that.
It's good
and the government has given up on that hard. Everybody's given up on that so hard. We're just fighting each other and just bulldogging each other at the necks now.
Yeah.
It's very painful. Very painful.
I was gonna say, if you want to see like a quick representation of that, there's that music video, DJ Shadow, Nobody Speak. That really, I think, sums up American politics pretty well. Yeah. But I was gonna say, wait, what's up, Grant?
Oh, nothing. I was just gonna talk about the track. Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, if you have another thing to say about the track, you should now, because I'm gonna roll into the.
All I was gonna say is that I think this is probably the most complicated song on the album. And again, one of the things that struck me when listening to this was just how direct a lot of it, and how many of the songs, even if they have a lot of kind of sub messages, all kind of boil down to like one central core idea of, and it's mostly right about her embracing herself and embracing who she is, and succeeding with who she is, not fighting against who she is, right? Yeah. But I feel like this is the after kind of like a whole album of songs that can be kind of boiled down to a single point. This is like the first. This ends on kind of complicating that in a really sort of important way by, again, going back to what we talked about, where it's
and obviously sparking conversation. You know what I mean? If you're actually paying attention to the words, like, it will, hopefully it'll spark up you challenging your ideas about, what it means to be an American, or what America is, or whatever, Mm-hmm. We do got to roll out of here though, and we have one more feature we like to get through, and that is going around the horn and finding out what everyone's been listening to and what they got to plug. So here's what I'll do. I'll start with Jake, and then John, Grant, and I'll end it. So Jake, what do you listen to? What do you plug?
Listening to a lot of stuff. Including this album, I guess. But we were talking about going through my iTunes library and kind of curating it, and that's been a big deal.
Getting it all back.
Yeah, get it kind of refined and figured out. So that's I guess that's about it.
Okay.
I don't know.
And you have that other podcast radio show, right?
Oh yeah. So Under the Covers with Jake the Snake Foster is airing Wednesday mornings, 6 to 8 a.m. Central Time on 91.7 WSUM FM Madison, WSUM.org, and the TuneIn Radio app. We go through music history, this week in music, and so this week's show will be, so it goes from Wednesday to the next Tuesday, and so those pop up on Spotify on the Sunday prior to the Wednesday, so you can check out old shows, and those are all there. And also the podcast exclusive Between the Sheets, where we look into specific artists and, specific people and their careers. And we did Tony Iommi, we did Loretta Lynn, we did Bob Seger, and we also did Eric Clapton Part 1. And nice. John is coming on.
Your Eric Clapton Part 1 is very good, by the way. I would like to mention that. I've listened to most of that, and that's very good.
Thanks. Yeah, that was the second one we did. Brent Coppernall and I, my friend Brent, who he's a great guitarist. You guys
had a very good like whole thing going. So.
Yeah, we had a really good flow that time. Thanks. Yeah. I appreciate that. That's what we felt.
No, seriously.
We felt too. Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. So John's going to be on doing Stevie Nicks. May 26th is her birthday, which is also my birthday. So, yeah.
All right. Hell yeah. What about you, John?
That's what we got.
What are you listening to, John? What are you plugging?
I don't really have anything to plug, but I've been listening to a lot of 80s music these days,
Okay.
A lot of Peter Gabriel, a little bit of the Outback music.
Yeah.
Hell
yeah. I like
a little Whitney Houston and such. Otherwise, yeah. I've definitely been listening to a lot of Temptations.
Tight.
Really feeling that Motown vibe these days, and I've been really feeling that romantic kind of music.
You are a great lover of Motown.
Yes, I do love Motown, and Temptations are probably my favorite Motown group, to be honest with you. So it's very easy for me to fall into just listening to some. Gets me going. But
hell yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Grant? What do you got to? What are you listening to? What do you got to plug?
I've been listening to a lot of just pop punk. I've been listening to a lot of party music just because it's at the stage of COVID where I'm almost fully vaccinated. Most of my friends are fully vaccinated, and I don't know how you guys are out there.
Yeah, I'm between shots.
Yeah, but like we're right on the cusp of actually being able to like go hang out at my friend's house and like have a party and like so after a year of like not listening to any positive music, I'm finally like kind of back in the set of like, okay, like I'm gonna be able to see people soon, be able to do things. So
I have to prepare myself for people.
I know that's another thing is I was kind of like, then I thought about a party, I was like, it sounds overwhelming. But in terms of plugging,
not necessarily looking forward to it. What what are you plugging?
Just like I have my I have a demo EP up on Bandcamp right now.
Okay.
It probably won't be up for that long. I'm probably actually going to take it down in a month or two, but I am just putting it up there now just to kind of give people an idea of what live shows will be like once live shows are a thing, hopefully by like fall. So I'm putting that up there. Bandcamp Fridays, of course.
Yes.
All the profit, right?
Gotta do Bandcamp Fridays. Gotta buy stuff on Bandcamp. Buy it on Fridays.
Exactly. But yeah, that's all I have to plug.
Nice.
What about
also, check out Bigfoot Museum. It's still up there, and it's a great listen. Hopefully soon you'll be able to see it live, or at least some of that. For me, I've been listening to, of course, the Desert Island Discord playlist. I will continue to listen to the Desert Island Discord playlist until we get at least 50 people on the Discord.
We're close, but we need y'all to keep listening, people.
We're at 37, so just go to the link in the description. The Discord link is right down there.
That's 13 more people.
We've been putting a lot of work into the Discord. We upgraded it to another tier so that we can stream our Tuesday night shows, and we have a lot of sections for like video recommendations, music recommendations. We have a Desert Island top 5 section. So go to our Discord. When you get in, tell us what your Desert Island 5 albums are. And we will add at least a track from each of those onto our playlist so that you can...
I was watching and I was listening to both. It's super easy to do both. So
yeah. No, it's also Discord
to listen to both through the Discord and the YouTube, right? That's what you're supposed to do.
That's right. I'll explain that in the plug. So my plug is every Tuesday night. We are doing the album concept hour side B, where we are trying to complete Sufjan Stevens' journey to do the 50 States albums. And now every other Tuesday, we are also doing a call-in request show type of thing. So like the week before, we put out the word to give us tracks from a certain genre. And then Tuesday night, we will listen to those tracks and talk about them. That happens on Tuesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Central at twitch.tv/Raw Evil Gaming. Or you can go to YouTube and find us by searching Flyover State TV, which is where we are streaming live. So, if you want to, and like Jake was saying, we have it set up now to get around the copyright stuff that you can watch the video on Twitch or YouTube and listen to the music along with us on the Discord. So as long as you have those two things going, then you should be able to roughly approximate listening to it with us. But yeah, we've gone around and figured out the best way to do it. I think we'll do this for a while, but we just got to upgrade the server like one more tier, and we'll really have some shit going. But yeah, that's what I got to plug. And yeah, thank you so much, Grant, for being on the podcast.
Yeah, man.
It was so great having you
Always
back.
great to have a return visitor, my friend.
Yeah, because like last time we were kind of like interrogating you about Bigfoot Museum. So like, yeah, it was great to actually get, be able to just, talk about another thing that you loved.
Yeah, so. No, it's funny because that was, I mean, again, I'm not gonna tell my life story. That was like the first like time I got interviewed about that album, because I got interviewed a little bit later that summer, but like. And then I realized as soon as I was getting interviewed, I was like, oh, like it's so hard to talk about this. So thanks for having me back.
Yeah, no, it's definitely talking about music is a strange thing too. So I mean, it's but yeah, I was so grateful to have you on. You were our first guest, I think, our first music guest that we covered. So yeah, that was a new thing for me too. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, thanks for being on that time and this time.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you back again. Let us know when you got another thing coming out, and to promote or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
Because,
sure thing.
Yeah. We have this list of bands that we have to like get into Madison at some point now, post pandemic. So we'll get you and Spectre 34 in here, and yeah, we'll have a extravaganza.
Thing.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks everyone for listening to the podcast. We will see you guys next time on the Album Concept Hour.
Always.
All right. Offer fade out. Thanks for listening. The Album Concept Hour is Brad LeBaron, Dave Gallagher, John Aker, and Jake Foster. Special thanks to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard for the theme music. Please like us on Facebook or friend us on Twitter or MySpace and let us know what concept album you would like to hear on the podcast. See you on Side B. This is Flyover State Park. You are clear to land.